Yeah, so I mean, there really is no reason to beat around the bush. Big Brother is looking at going back to earlier filming dates this season, and that is probably something really exciting for a lot of fans because that probably means that we're closer to it than you might think. So just a little bit of background: CBS is planning on overlapping Love Island and Big Brother once again this season, this year, and CBS is really excited because they're thinking that they're going to be able to get both shows started at their previous earlier filming dates. So what does that mean for everybody? Since Big Brother 15, start dates have ranged anywhere between June 22nd and June 27th. Even before that, the start date was July 5th to the 13th. As of this recording, we are recording on the 23rd, correct? Yes, it is the 23rd. We are exactly 2 months out from what I believe is a potential expected start date. We could be starting June 23rd, June 30th, or July 7th. I'm excited. I didn't realize we were this close.
Yeah,
So,
it's kind of insane. Just thinking about it because well, first of all, it's kind of crazy that we're just a week from May, but it's very exciting to the idea of having new shows. I completely forgot that the show started so late last year,
I
truthfully,
know.
because I don't know, I just didn't think about it that way, but
Time got away.
it sure did. But it is exciting that within 2 months there'll be probably a new season. So
Yeah,
that's welcoming for anyone that likes Big Brother, or you know, I think this is a big season for them because you gotta hope to bring back fans while also gain some new fans. I think that's a goal, and I think that's why it will be overlapping with Love Island. Because if they're ever back to back or something like that, you're gonna hope that others
exactly.
turn in because I believe Love Island for some reason does really good
It
in
was
the
popular
ratings.
in the UK, so I think there's been a lot of fans. I did notice that the ratings went down a little bit last year, but not by much. Like
Well, that's up to
it's a
yeah,
typical, exactly. It was what I was gonna say. Pretty typical for a second season to not run as
yeah.
well as the first, but it doesn't mean that it ran poorly either. They still both shows still put up really good numbers. So I agree with you. I think it's going to be really interesting. I really hope they can draw in new fans. I'm just curious to see how they're going to do it.
I
Um,
I mean, if I had to guess, I did check something. I think the casting videos haven't been taken down yet. Like you could still submit. Uh,
hmm, write
but
this down.
I would say it's probably within the next month. If I had to guess, they'll take it down.
Yeah, I would agree too.
I will. I will say. I think I've always thought their best course of action is going new group and like three comebackers. I always think the comebackers just add a different interest.
I agree.
Because I know for me it doesn't really matter because I've gotten so used to the show, but for a few years there, you really needed those former house guests to be at all interested in certain seasons. Um,
That's for
but
sure.
but I wouldn't also be against them doing a full brand new cast. That's always welcoming as well, especially right after All Stars. The only problem I have with that is the last time we did that, it was not very good. So,
Yeah. And that's just it's a mixed bag with whatever you get. Like it's just kind of my hope is that we're going to get a better cast. And I'm not saying anything negative about what casting's done in the past. I'm just trying to say that we do have a little bit of a switch up where they have somebody different leading casting this season. So it's just kind of interesting to me to
it's
kind of think about
intriguing.
what could potentially go down as a result of that. So
Yeah.
I'm curious. I mean, I think for me, that's the big selling point. And I think for you too, obviously, is we need a good cast. Really need a good cast. It's been, I mean, we're watching Big Brother 10 and I'm dying for, we don't need to have a Jerry and a Rennie and a, like, I mean, I would like a couple older people in the house because I feel like it gives it a little more character, especially when they are like these people where like they aren't just there. Like I know people loved Kevin from Boston because we're from the Boston area, but like what was it, season 19. He didn't know anything about Big Brother. He just was
No.
on there because he was from Boston. And it was
Yeah.
just like, are you kidding me? Like, let's put somebody on here who knows the game. Like,
Right.
ugh,
I,
it's
I think
ugh.
I think a smart thing for them to do would be going away from their seemingly very clear casting set, if that makes sense. We've talked about in the past how they have a very systematic way of bringing people into this house. You have the, 6 attractive people, the 4 smart but like not superly attractive people, and then this is gonna sound terrible, but this is exactly how they do it. Then the um people of color
Yep.
to,
No,
to
it
round out
really
the house.
is. It's
That like
horrible.
like that's exactly how they've been doing it, and I hope it's just a sense of like, hey, here's 16 people that could be fun to watch together. Like, I don't think we need the systematic style anymore. I
I
think we've
agree.
blown past that, and it helped last year in All Stars. I think they had 6 people of
Yeah.
color
I think it's
or
hold
so.
on. 4 to 6. I can't remember. I know Kevin,
Devon,
Bailey,
David.
Davon, David. I'm just blanking on the cast. It's not that I don't think
Yeah,
there's more. I just am blanking on the entire cast.
yeah.
But there was, but for a season, a Big Brother season, I got into a fight with somebody on TikTok because they were saying that like there was no such thing as a race issue on this show. And it's not to
There's
say
a
that like they're
serious race
being,
issue on
and
the
it's
show.
and it's not like they're trying to be, at least I don't think so, trying to be this way, but it's the way when you have your 1 or 2 people
It
of color on the show, it's just it doesn't come off good. And that's why I lost my shit on this kid, because he's just like, I think he was also just trying to be a troll. But I was
yeah.
just like, you can't, like, there's no way you can say that Big Brother doesn't have a racial casting issue. I mean, it was evident in Big Brother 21. It's just, we have to be able to move on. There hasn't really been a solid cast since 14.
Right. And I'm not saying like you need to, knowing Big Brother, they could always, or CBS as a whole, they could make that like a very big selling point. Like, this is the most, like, I think what we should be doing is just get to the point where it's just your usual show. Like, it shouldn't have to be a big deal, and it's definitely
No.
going to be a big deal the first time, and I totally agree why it would be,
Oh
because
yeah.
they've never done it. But yeah, get away from that systematic style and just start, finding the best people for the show. Like, don't go finding someone through a casting thing where
If
they
that's what
don't
they do and they have left this casting shit up so long, I'm gonna be so pissed
like
off.
like no offense to Bailey, but I remember her vividly saying she
Mm.
didn't know anything about this show.
Mhm.
And then you brought up Kevin earlier. There's multiple people that come on the show, have no idea what they're doing, but they're just trying to get on TV. So
Yep.
that's why they're here. And it's just ridiculous. I don't think that's the way you should go. Um,
Yeah,
it's
something's ringing in my head though. Like I kind of forgot about this just till just now. Remember when Kent in Big Brother 2, Big Brother
yes.
2, he got out of the house and he put Big Brother on
Yeah.
blast when he was like, oh, like, what did he say? Because I think there was only 12 people at the house at that time, and he goes, 10 out of 12 of us had agents. And I was like, oh, that's an admission I don't think they wanted people to
Yeah.
hear.
I
But unfortunately, I think they keep it that way, and to a degree, or they've kept it that way to a
well,
degree.
okay, so to be fair, season 2, Big Brother was still very fresh.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But
But
when I look back at like season we're watching now, like, I get the sense at least that most, if not all, understand the Big Brother game. Like, you
oh
look at
yeah.
you look at Jesse, he would be the one that you would think would be like this casting call type guy, but he might be the one that understands it almost the most out of anyone besides Dan Giesling and like Keisha. Like,
Kind of like a
actually, no,
Tyler.
actually, Keisha's slightly like clueless sometimes with her game. Um,
She knows the game. Sometimes she just gets it a
yeah,
little
it's
personal, and it's just like, honey, honey.
which is exciting to be fair.
Yeah, well,
But y- you got to break away from that. Like, if you like cast like one or two, I guess that's fine. But you want people that have watched your own show so that they
yeah.
understand what they're walking into. I think that's just a major thing, and that's my own thoughts on this. But it's exciting that we're starting in 2 months or so.
Yeah, seriously. So those dates are based on the idea that the seasons usually begin on Wednesdays, which is where I came up with those 3 dates after doing my research and doing all that stuff. And at the latest we're looking is July 7th, which is it sounds far away, right? I think it does.
It
But
does,
we're
but
like,
it's not.
it's so
Oh,
not, and it's so mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. I'm excited though. Is there anything else that you're looking forward to for this season? Like anything you're really hoping to see, hoping not to see?
Um,
Anything at all?
we talked about how it'd be nice if they did like an anniversary type thing for Big
Mm,
Brother 2. I don't expect that to happen.
I wish.
If they did a coaches thing again, I would welcome that. I always like that type of thing. But I would also welcome a coaches thing where they keep them in the house halfway and then they just leave. Like not get eliminated, not enter the house. They just are like, all right, well, we coached you guys long enough. See you guys. Like I think that would be interesting. Mostly I'm just looking for a good season. I feel like outside of season 20, there really hasn't been that many good seasons since season 5. Well, season 15 is awful, but
I was gonna say
but
that.
like but like starting at season 15, it's just been bad. And I think season 20 is like the one clear good season out of all those. I mean, I honestly All Stars is probably like second or third. That's how bad it's been. Uh
Mhm.
but yeah, I just all I'm asking is for a good season. I don't really care about anything else. That's all I
Yeah,
want.
I feel it. It's like, and it's not even that they weren't somewhat entertaining to watch at the time. It's just not shows that you want to go back and rewatch. Like that's part of the fandom that we all love about Big Brother is like that's why we do the BB breakdown. We love going back and being able to like watch these old seasons and really love this old gameplay. And I love kind of watching it almost in real time where it's like we only are doing it 1 week at a time and we're kind of getting that feel of like, oh yeah, this is how crazy it
Yeah.
was. And like, because like right now, I mean, we have hyped this season up as like Dan in Memphis, how's this gonna go? Like we remember about it's gonna be fun to go back on. And it's like we haven't seen Dan and Memphis do much together even through this week. And it's just kind of
No,
hilarious to go through and rewatch and really like re-love this show. And there's not much to love or like rewatch and enjoy with those newer seasons. And I don't mean to be mean. It's just there's a lack of gameplay, in my opinion. They have so
yeah.
many people in there that don't know the game, they don't want to play. And you've already like you're losing the people who are like Keisha and they're like, oh, like I just want to shake things up. And we will
Right.
talk about that later shortly. But like we need the people who aren't just gonna be like, oh, it's my alliance. I'm just gonna do what my alliance
Right.
wants.
Yeah.
Oh, and then a single alliance running the entire house and the entire
Yeah.
other side of the house being oblivious. It's driving me nuts. I
It's
need more Big Brother 10 like stuff.
it's
Big Brother 8.
really it's really difficult to get away from that alliance stuff. So here's what's funny to me. I brought up like don't bring in like just a casting crew of people that don't know the show. Or what you do is you bring an entire crew that don't know the show. And that's how you rejuvenate Big Brother because you have 16 people that don't understand alliances and these
Yep.
big groups and how this game works. Like that is the other way I would go because
I don't think that's bad.
it would feel fresh and I don't know, it'd be interesting to see someone not try to copy Derek for the first time in like a decade. So that's just me.